Tavern.
Adelaide's morning news with Elspeth Hussey starts now.
Good morning. First to a developing story, and a man is fighting for life after a vicious stabbing at Sturt. Let's go straight to Hannah Ford now. And Hannah, the victim was found curled up on a front porch.
That's right, Elle. It was just after 2 here on Travis Street when the couple inside their home opened the door to a man moaning in pain and pleading for help. Barry and Chris rang police and soon realised the 26-year-old from Christie Downs had been stabbed several times in the chest and the back. He'd also suffered a serious head injury. They grabbed towels to help ease the blood flow while they waited for paramedics. The man had staggered to their home after knocking on other front doors in the street. Those neighbours waking up to bloody doorsteps this morning.
I was worried that he might try to force his way in, but then when we found out he'd been stabbed, I felt a bit ordinary. I thought there was a fair chance he could die because he had sort of, I don't know, 5 or 6 stab wounds, I think the police said.
It's believed he was stabbed in nearby Parkmore Terrace, where a woman was found with a stab wound to her face also. Both the victims were taken to hospital. The man remains in a critical condition. Detectives here this morning are still trying to piece together exactly what happened overnight. Elle.
Thank you, Hannah. With growing fears it's only a matter of time until South Australia's next COVID outbreak, authorities have revealed lockdowns could be a thing of the past by Christmas. Andrea Nicholas joins us now in the studio. Andrea, it all hinges on vaccinations.
It does, Elle. We're being told that's the only way off this lockdown merry-go-round, and our chief medico says 80% of South Australians over the age of 16 would need to be fully immunised. We're expected to hit that target by December, with 70% of the population likely to have had both jabs by November. Not only would an 80% vaccination rate potentially put an end to lockdowns here, but it would likely mean we can leave our borders open. On Monday, a record 116,000 people snapped up appointments after 16 to 39-year-olds were given the green light to book in for Pfizer jabs. The previous daily record was fewer than 30,000. But those over 60 are still restricted to AstraZeneca, and health officials are urging them not to hold off for a different vaccine, but to protect themselves from the highly contagious Delta strain as soon as possible. Till we reach those vaccination targets, strict mask-wearing rules in indoor settings are set to remain in place, along with caps on numbers at events and home gatherings. Elle?
Thank you, Andrea. An overseas traveller who breached hotel quarantine for a night on the town could face jail time. 33-year-old Paul McKellarney has admitted leaving his hotel room at the Grand Chancellor last Thursday night and heading to the pub. Police have revealed the security system wasn't being monitored and say McKellarney lied to officers who stopped him in the car park before letting him go. The father of 2 says it was a foolish decision, which he blames on grief after returning from his father's funeral in Scotland. He'll be back in court next week. And a couple remains behind bars accused of breaching quarantine in the southern suburbs. Police swooped on an Aldinga Beach caravan park, arresting the pair on Tuesday. 37-year-old Queensland woman Carly Cluse is accused of leaving her nominated quarantine address in Morphett Vale and freely walking around the park. Police say the man she was with, Terence Webb, tried to run from officers but was arrested and charged with breaching bail. Both have returned negative COVID tests. The Shoppies Union has slammed the actions of an anti-masker caught on camera assaulting an innocent bystander at a southern suburb supermarket. As Lauren Rose reports, the attack was sparked when staff asked the man to wear a mask.
This attack has left the Shop Workers Union fuming. It says it's been warning something like this could happen since mask rules came into effect. These pictures, obtained exclusively by 7 News, show the suspect reacting angrily when quizzed by supermarket staff about not wearing a mask. He then turns his attention to another shopper who steps in by pointing to boxes of face masks for sale behind the counter. The man goes to leave but then doubles back, shoving the 58-year-old victim in the chest, sending him stumbling backwards and crashing to the floor. As shocked witnesses rush to his aid, the suspect walks away. The disturbing incident incident happened at the Drake settled Dinga Beach on Monday afternoon. Police say they were able to identify him from the clear security video and the next day arrested a 41-year-old local man. He was charged with not only assault but also with failing to comply with a direction, as well as refusing to wear a mask. He also fails to use the QR code check-in on arrival. Police say they will investigate all alleged breaches of the Emergency Management Act, but the Retail Workers Union says it's unfair to expect staff to enforce it. We'll hear from them in our bulletins at 4 and 6 o'clock.
New South Wales is no closer to escaping lockdown with another record spike. Overnight, there were 681 new cases, with at least 59 infectious in the community and, sadly, one further death. Hundreds of people have also been fined for flouting lockdown rules.
I know these are challenging times, but I also can see the light at the end of the tunnel. These are difficult times for all of us, and the next few weeks will be hard. But know that once we hit those high vaccination rates, life will feel much better. Life will look much rosier.
Meantime, despite Melbourne's snap lockdown, Victoria has recorded 57 new cases. 13 have been out and about in the community. New Zealand's COVID outbreak has surged to 21 cases, all in the Auckland area. Jacinda Ardern says the source of the cluster has now been traced back to a Kiwi traveller from a Sydney red zone. They tested positive in hotel quarantine and were taken to hospital more than a week later. A man's been arrested over a terrifying armed hold-up in the city where gaming room staff were threatened with a sawn-off shotgun and a machete. Two men stormed the West End Tavern on Hindley Street early yesterday morning, stealing cash before fleeing the scene. Last night, police swooped on a home in Modbury, arresting a 40-year-old man and seizing the alleged getaway car. A second suspect remains on the run. The federal government has defended its first mission to evacuate Australian citizens and allies from Afghanistan, despite rescuing just a few hundred of people needing help. Political reporter Taylor Aiken has more from Canberra.
Good morning. It's not yet clear when the next evacuation missions will take place, with the government saying the volatile situation on the ground in Afghanistan is further complicating operations. 26 people were evacuated from Kabul airport in the late-night mission under the cover of darkness on board Australian citizens, Afghan allies and one foreign official. Prime Minister Scott Morrison saying Australian personnel are now on the ground processing those who need evacuating and assisting those stranded in getting to the airport and past Taliban checkpoints. But Defence Minister Peter Dutton has stressed the situation is still incredibly dangerous, with thousands of people rushing to the capital's airport.
This is not like turning up to Sydney Airport or Brisbane Airport. The reality on the ground is difficult. I think it's a reality of just the numbers that are there, papers that are being checked and the surge of people toward the airport gates, which become overwhelmed. So again, that's the reality of what's on the ground.
Meanwhile, the government has also been forced to defend the number of humanitarian visas being offered to those fleeing Afghanistan. 3,000 places will be offered under this year's refugee intake, with more in following years. But Prime Minister Scott Morrison has warned people smugglers the government's policies have not changed and anyone entering Australia illegally will be turned around.
United States President Joe Biden has given his first interview since the Taliban victory in Afghanistan, saying it was not possible to extract American troops without some degree of chaos. Ashley Mullaney reports.
A day after the Taliban promised safe passage for America, its allies and Afghans, it is a fraught trip to the airport for those trying to flee. Shocking images emerging today of Taliban soldiers whipping crowds outside Hamid Karzai Airport, and reports too that planes have been taking off half empty because those who want to leave simply can't make it through the checkpoints and through to the tarmac. This all happening as the US President, the Commander-in-Chief, returned from Camp David here to Washington, sitting down for an interview and defending his withdrawal of troops.
The idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
So for you, that was always priced into the decision?
Yes.
The US and allies have issued a joint statement saying we are deeply worried about Afghan women and girls and their right to education, work and freedom of movement, saying we call on those in positions of power and authority across Afghanistan to guarantee their protection. This is still very much a delicate and volatile situation on the ground in Kabul, with military chiefs facing tough questions at the Pentagon today, saying that there simply isn't a way that they will be able to rescue people outside the airport perimeter, and saying too that they nor anyone predicted just how quickly the Taliban would take over Afghanistan. There is still some 15,000 Americans, some 65,000 Afghans who are desperately trying to get out and trying to get here to the US. Joe Biden plans to continue having meetings with his security chiefs tomorrow, sticking to that August 31st deadline to have everyone out.
A child is among the injured in a shocking three-car crash in the southern suburbs this morning. Up next, the latest on the unfolding investigation. Plus, British Parliament calls an emergency sitting as pressure mounts to accept more Afghan refugees. And the Pope's plea for all Catholics to get vaccinated against COVID as an act of love.
Sometimes in homicide investigations, the person who actually masterminds it is not the actual perpetrator. Behind the scenes, they pull the strings. I knew I had to find a body. We're looking for a needle in a haystack. This is your opportunity to tell your story.
Oh, I didn't do it, Ron.
I'm after the truth.
Homicide with Ron Iddles, Sunday on 7.
If you're like me and you're tired of those aches and pains and restless nights, why don't you transform your old mattress?
Time to get the all-new Super Sleeper Pro, the world's most comfortable mattress topper that attaches to any bed just like a fitted sheet. It's the only mattress topper that has 3 waves of cushioning support under the heaviest parts of your body. And it's so easy. Just roll it onto your bed and the 10 centimetres of luxurious soft remedial memory foam instantly makes your old mattress like new. Forget uncomfortable springs. Super Sleeper's 3 layers of soft triple density memory foam cradles your whole body for the best night's sleep you've ever had.
It's as easy as putting a fitted sheet on your mattress, so within seconds you've transformed your bed to a really luxurious experience. I'm getting the best night's sleep I've ever had.
It gives plenty of support and it's firm, but at the same time it's got a lovely cushioning effect. It's lovely.
If you're tired of partner disturbance, watch this. You can see with Super Sleeper, there's no movement and the wine doesn't spill. The secret is in the 3-layer comfort pad technology, creating a seamless feel of comfort and support, while the unique tri-line positioning system cushions and controls your shoulders, hips and knees to give you a better night's sleep. Watch as the Super Sleeper's remedial memory foam cushions and supports even the lumpiest mattress. It even passes the raw egg test. Simply unzip the removable bamboo cover and you can pop it in the wash so your bed stays clean and hygienic all year round. Don't spend thousands of dollars getting a new mattress. Call 0293874100. Get to supersleeperpro.com.au and we'll give you not 1 but 2 of the best-selling adjustable memory foam pillows that perfectly mold to your neck, back and shoulders and helps to relieve pressure from muscles and joints. Valued at $140, absolutely free, and a 120-night sleep guarantee. Plus, free postage anywhere in Australia. Get your Super Sleeper Pro 2 memory pillows plus free postage. Get to supersleeperpro.com.au and don't miss out.
The difference in how I wake up in the morning and how I get out of bed is incredible.
Jumpstart Plus by Light and Easy is designed to help you reach your weight loss goals sooner.
Jumpstart Plus was the answer for me. The food's beautiful. The variety is amazing. I really love the app. It makes you feel like you're definitely on the right track.
Jump online today.
The new Lynx effect. Bust odour, smell irresistible. Smell irresistible. The new Lynx effect.
You're watching 7's Morning News live from Adelaide, and it's been a beautiful start to the day ahead of what's set to be a sunny and warm Thursday. Currently a stunning 17 degrees at Alberton, heading for a top of 20 there. A nasty 3-car smash sparked peak hour traffic chaos in the southern suburbs this morning. As Peter Caldecott reports, a child was among the victims treated by paramedics.
The shocking crash happened here at the intersection of Panatalinga and Main South Roads just after 7 a.m. It's understood a male driver in a silver Camry was coming off the Southern Expressway when his car collided head-on with a red Nissan X-Trail. One of the cars then slammed into a van that was waiting at the traffic lights on South Road.
All I heard was a bang, and then all of a sudden the silver car has been flung into my driver's side door and pinned me inside.
Fortunately, the apprentice electrician escaped injury and went to help the driver who was trapped in his Toyota.
Got out of the passenger side of the car and made sure that the driver of the silver car was conscious and still all right.
Firefighters had to use the jaws of life to cut the man out of his Camry. It took emergency crews more than half an hour to free him. He was taken to the Flinders Medical Centre in a stable condition. 2 women and a child who were in the Nissan were also treated by paramedics before being taken to hospital. The smash caused major delays as traffic was diverted around the scene. Investigators are trying to determine if one of the drivers failed to give way at the busy intersection.
Definitely with a serious crash like that, just looking at the silver car, how they've had to cut it apart to pull him out, he's lucky he's alive, I reckon.
Police want anyone who may have seen the collision to come forward.
British Parliament has held a special sitting to discuss the situation in Afghanistan amid growing pressure for European nations to accept more Afghan refugees. Hugh Whitfield has more.
British MPs were called back from their summer break, and this is the first time we've seen them packed into the House of Commons since before the pandemic. Today, it was to hear Boris Johnson attempt to explain how 20 years and the loss of 457 British soldiers' lives ended up with Kabul and Afghanistan falling to the Taliban. Ultimately, he said Britain, NATO and the West couldn't continue the mission without America's logistics, air power and might.
The events in Afghanistan have unfolded and the collapse has been faster than I think even the Taliban themselves predicted. What is not true is to say that the UK government was unprepared or did not foresee this.
You'd expect scathing criticism from opposition parties at Westminster, and there was plenty of that today, but Boris Johnson was also forced to confront his own furious Conservative Party MPs, questioning how UK intelligence failed so badly and whether London or Washington was running UK foreign policy. There are concerns right across Europe about a new wave of migrants and terror now that Afghanistan is in Taliban hands. There is an attempt, though, to get the Western alliance back on track. Boris Johnson will host a virtual meeting of G7 leaders next week.
The head of the Catholic Church has added his voice to a campaign to overcome scepticism of the coronavirus vaccines. Pope Francis has issued a global public service announcement insisting that COVID-19 vaccines are safe, effective and an act of love.
Por más pequeño que sea, el amor siempre es grande.
The Vatican has declared that it is morally acceptable for Catholics to receive COVID-19 vaccines, including those based on research that use cells derived from unborn fetuses. South Australia's jobless rate is no longer the highest in the nation after dropping to 4.7%. The decrease of 0.7% is the sharpest in the country. Here's Gemma Acton with the national figures.
Good morning, Elle. The jobless rate has actually dropped to 4.6% from 4.9%, helped by the creation of 6,400 new part-time jobs. Elsewhere, though, the participation rate has fallen, indicating fewer people are looking for work. Full-time jobs have fallen and hours worked have dropped slightly, but not nearly as much as many were expecting given the recent spate of lockdowns. These figures follow yesterday's wage growth data, which came in at a disappointing 1.7% for the year. That's far below the Reserve Bank's target of 3%. And after a dour night on Wall Street, we were expecting a weak open for Aussie shares, and we sure got it, with the ASX 200 slipping back below 7,500 for the first time in more than a fortnight. The Aussie dollar is also struggling, inching ever closer to 72 US cents. Elle.
Thanks, Gemma. We're still to come on 7 News Sport with Tom Wilson, and more list changes at Westlakes as another Crows veteran departs the club. And Orazio Fantasia ruled out of Port's Friday night blockbuster against the Bulldogs.
In an exclusive... This is the team, bringing all the facts home to you.
For the first time, we can tonight reveal the...
Join me for 7 News at 6.
At Drake Supermarkets, we've got all the ingredients for the school days and the holidays. the bake days and the I've got an ache days. Ingredients for the cheeky days and the sneaky days. The chill days and the barbecue grill days. We've got all the ingredients for you, no matter what the day. Drake's Supermarkets.
Ingredients for every day.
At Chobani, we believe in food made good. Chobani Oat is the new way to milk, with taste that truly satisfies. Non-dairy milk that's rich, creamy and irresistibly smooth. Chobani.
Light up their faces with the awesomeness of puff rice. LCMs are the surefire lunchbox treat.
Around every corner lies another corner just waiting to be enjoyed. The BMW 320i sedan. From 75,900 drive away. Let it take you. Search BMW 3 Series.
Look close. There's a side to Werther's you may have never noticed. Delicious chewy toffees and chocolate-filled eclairs. For the caramel lover in you, discover Werther's original caramels.
Hey, these bowls are from our first share house.
From the Nazi Goring dynasty.
Where are the others? Still over our next first car.
I miss you, baby. Oh, look at your ties.
Still wasn't the biggest regret I had that day.
Has your betting ever gone too far? Take a sec before you bet and set a deposit limit, whoever you bet with.
Now at Harvey Norman, smarter technology for all with Lenovo. Get things done with this Lenovo IdeaPad laptop. Great value at just $447. Or get more memory, more storage and a bigger screen with this model. Only $698. Do great things with the lightweight Lenovo IdeaPad Slim laptop featuring an Intel Core i5 processor. Now $898. Or upgrade to the bigger screen with an Intel Core i7 processor and save $400. Now at Harvey Norman, your technology specialist.
Good morning. Crows veteran David McKay will retire after his 248th AFL game against North Melbourne at Adelaide Oval on Sunday. The 33-year-old has been a mainstay in the Adelaide side since making his debut in 2008. Renowned for his professionalism and consistency, McKay is now the third senior player who won't be at Westlakes in 2022 after Tom Lynch and Daniel Talia weren't offered contracts for next season. Port Adelaide has made two changes for its blockbuster Friday night clash with the Western Bulldogs. Small forward Orazio Fantasia is out with a tight hamstring. Tom Cleary's been omitted. In comes defender Trent McKenzie. He missed last week's big win over the Blues, also with a tight hamstring, while Stevie Motlop plays his first game since round 17 after having ankle surgery. A win for Port will guarantee them a top 2 spot and its first win against the top 4 side in 23 rounds.
To get tested to see whether we can graduate to a level that we're very confident in that we can perform at. But at the moment, the body of work that we've delivered would suggest that we've still got to pass that test.
And after 9 years at the club, head of high performance Ian McEwen will leave Alberton at the end of the season. Alex Carey is a surprise omission from the Australian squad for October's T20 World Cup in India. Fresh off captaining the one-day side, he's been overlooked for Western Australian bolter Josh Inglis. It comes as speculation swirls over the future of Justin Langer. Cricket Australia has publicly backed him to continue as coach, despite persistent rumblings that he's lost the support of some players.
The amount of respect that JL has for both what he's done and what he's continuing to try and do is huge. There's no doubt, I think there's been a few challenges over the last 12 months.
Langer's contract runs until the middle of next year. Well, Ash Barty is back in action for the first time since the Olympics, preparing for the US Open. The world #1 defeated Heather Watson in straight sets to advance to the third round of the Cincinnati Masters.
One of those matches today where I had to dig deep and I felt like when it really mattered most, I was able to find some pretty good stuff.
The reigning US Open men's champion Dominic Thiem won't be defending his title at the end of the month due to a season-ending wrist injury. And the first of our Paralympians have begun to arrive in Tokyo. 157 athletes and officials left Melbourne last night. Wheelchair tennis star Dylan Alcott flies out tomorrow.
I love what the Paralympic Games represents, not only for sport, but it actually means more than sport for the, community of people with disabilities. It breaks down stigmas, changes perceptions.
The opening ceremony is on Tuesday. Of course, you can watch it all on 7 and 7plus, Elle.
There's a few South Australians I'll be keeping an eye on. Thanks, Tom. Well, it's set to be a beautiful sunny day across Adelaide. Stay with us. I'll be back with all of the weather details right after this short break.
Australia, this is your chance to win a share in $100,000. Just watch the chase today to enter. Then watch 7 News to see if you've won. Don't miss your chance to win. Today on 7.
Healthy skin starts with Cetaphil Face with hyaluronic acid. It helps protect the health of sensitive skin with cleansers and moisturisers that give gentle, effective daily care. Healthy skin starts with Cetaphil.
I can read your future with that, well. So it says you're going to get married or fired.
I'm already married.
Exciting.
Your future's in the swirls and curls.
If your credit card debt is keeping you up at night, move your balance to a NAB low-rate card and save on interest with 0% per annum on balance transfers for 32 months. So you can get your finances and your sleep back on track. NAB, more than money.
Now's the perfect time to try Light and Easy for yourself. With over 160 delicious, nutritious meals to choose from and a money-back guarantee if you're not delighted with your first delivery. Visit lightandeasy.com.au.
QBE car insurance feels as easy as easy to quote before you buy and easy to claim after. QBE Insurance.
I'll be back in a tick.
So, how many weeks are you?
13. But shh, no, I haven't told Dad yet. Dad, how did you know?
Have you heard of Amplifon?
Amplifon has been providing the latest technology in hearing aids for over 70 years. With over 300 Amplifon clinics, our audiologists will assess your hearing using our exclusive approach. Call 13MyEars to book a free hearing test. That's 13 69 32 77. Amplifon, the hearing care professionals.
This is a song for the unsung heroes, the ones keeping our families fed.
It's not for you, Jan. We know you're a hero.
But this song's for Dave's chicken legs.
It's not a song for the parents who love us, who've been claiming all the credit as the cooks.
I agree, honey. It's very gratuitous.
Hero, Steggles, Australia's favourite chook.
This weather report brought to you by Bridgestone Select for tyres and car servicing.
To the weather now, and we're in for a beautiful warm day, heading for a top of 20 degrees, but there's a strong wind warning for these coastal areas. Across the state, there's a slight chance of showers about the Eyre Peninsula and some coastal regions. 24 and sunny in Roxby Downs, 21 in Port Lincoln, 18 for Clare, Kingscote and Mount Gambier, 19 in Victor Harbour. Looking interstate, mostly sunny in Sydney, Melbourne, a top of 17, possible storms in Perth and a sunny 33 in Darwin. Back home, and today's warmer weather won't last, unfortunately. A top of 16 and showers tomorrow. That rain will then continue over the weekend, then down to just 14 on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, good while it lasted. That's all the news for now. I'll be back with our next bulletin at 4, and Mike and Rosanna will have all of the day's top stories at 6 o'clock. Bye for now.